Welcome to Value Plays Only, where Italia is only played for the backside. Infect, baby. Today, we have Cami playing Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator, and Vial Smasher the Fierce. This Grixis Pirate deck looks to win fast. It can lean on Thassa's Oracle, Underworld Breach, Glenhorn Buccaneer, or a Trickery Charm Loop. Her hand contains a Ragavan, Nibble Pilfer, Orcish Bowmasters, Soul Ring, Flooded Strand, and Island. Her Luna Mulligans are Windfall and Cyclonic Rift. John is playing Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. This deck looks to control the table while flipping big cards off the top for massive damage. His hand contains Entomb, Vampiric Tutor, Orcish Bowmasters, Flooded Strand, Shizo, Death Storehouse, and Underground Sea. His Luna Mulligan is a Mana Confluence. Tyler's playing Dargo the Shipwrecker and Tymna the Weaver. This deck looks to loop Dargo with Relic Legends or Burgi and a Sacrifice Outlet, or it can win with Underworld Breach. His hand contains the Jolly Balloon Man, Mayhem Devil, Bolus's Citadel, Prize Statue, Chrome Mox, and Exotic Orchard. His Luna Mulligan is a Silence. Dan is playing Ob Nixilis, Captive Kingpin. This is a Rakdos Storm deck pretending to be a stacks deck. It's loaded up with 1 damage ping effects to generate massive card advantage through Ob. It can win with Agatha Soul Cauldron or Dualcaster Mage. His hand contains Imperial Seal, Demonic Tutor, Deadly Rollick, Chrome Mox, Arid Mesa, City of Brass, and Sokenzen, Crucible of Defiance. And with that, let's see some value plays. Cami starts things off with a Flooded Strand. She pays life and cracks it, fetching up a Volcanic Island. She casts a Ragavan, Nimble Pilferer. Cami passes the turn. John plays a Flooded Strand for turn. He passes the turn. Tyler plays an Exotic Orchard as land for turn. He casts a Chrome Mox, imprinting the Jolly Balloon Man as it enters. He casts a Prize Statue. It enters and triggers to make a treasure. Tyler passes the turn. Dan plays an Arid Mesa as land for turn. He pays life and cracks it. In response, John pays life and cracks his Flooded Strand, fetching up a Watery Grave. Into play untap, paying 2 life. Dan then fetches up a Badlands. He casts a Chrome Mox, imprinting Deadly Rollick as it enters. Dan casts Demonic Tutor. He searches up a card to hand and then passes the turn. Cami untaps and draws. She plays an Arid Mesa as land for turn. She pays life and cracks it, fetching up a Badlands. She casts a Soul Ring. Cami then casts Orcish Bowmasters. It enters and triggers to ping Dan for 1. Cami goes to combat and swings Ragavan at Dan. He takes the damage, and Ragavan triggers to make a Treasure and Exile Lightning Bolt off the top of his library. Cami then passes the turn. In her end step, John casts Vampiric Tutor. He goes to pick up his library when Cami tells him to sit back down and cast Mental Misstep, countering Vamp Tutor. The turn then moves to John. John untaps and draws. He plays an Underground Sea as land for turn. John passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He casts a Ragavan, Nibble Pilferer. Tyler then passes his turn. Dan untaps and draws. He plays a Command Tower as land for turn. He casts a Dark Ritual. It resolves and Dan casts his commander, Ob Nixilis, Captive Kingpin. He then taps out for an Imperial Seal. It resolves and Dan searches up a card to the top of his library and loses 2 life. Dan then passes the turn. Cami untaps and draws. She plays a Snow-Covered Island as land for turn. Cami casts her commander, Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator. She goes to combat. John says if Cami attacks Dan, he can make sure she gets in, as he could kill Ob Nixilis if he blocks. Cami likes that and swings Ragavan at Dan. Dan heeds the warning and takes the damage. Ragavan and Malcolm trigger to make treasures and exile Glaring Flesh Raker off the top of Dan's library. Cami then passes the turn. In her end step, John casts an Orcish Bowmasters of his own. He offers Cami that if she won't target him or his board with her Bowmaster, they can work together to ping off Dan. Cami says no dice. John's Bowmaster enters and triggers to ping Cami's Bowmaster, killing it. The turn then moves to John. John untaps and draws. He plays a Shizo, Death Storehouse, as land for turn. He casts an Imperial Seal. Cami responds with a Flusterstorm, with both copies targeting Imp Seal. Imperial Seal is countered, and John goes to combat. He swings his 1/1 Orc Army at Tyler. Tyler declares no blocks, and John activates the Commander Ninjutsu ability of his commander, Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. Yuriko enters tapped and attacking Tyler, and he takes the damage. Yuriko and Ob Nixilis trigger. Ob gets a counter and exiles Underworld Breach off the top of his library. Yuriko's trigger then resolves and reveals an Ingenious Infiltrator, with each opponent taking 4. John then passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He plays a Scrubland as land for turn. He goes to combat and swings Ragavan at John. John takes the damage and Ragavan triggers to make a Treasure and exile Soul Ring off the top of John's library. In his second main phase, Tyler casts Soul Ring. He then casts Mayhem Devil. John's deck full of 1/1s gets very nervous as Tyler passes the turn. Dan untaps and draws. He plays a City of Brass as land for turn. He casts Cabal Ritual, adding 3 black mana. He then casts Party Thrasher. It resolves and Dan uses his floating mana to channel Sokenzen, Crucible of Defiance, making 2 1/1 tokens with haste. He goes to combat, swinging both of his 1/1s at Cami. She declares no blocks and takes 2. With that, Dan has to pass the turn. Cami untaps and draws. She goes to combat, swinging Ragavan at John and Malcolm at Tyler. They take the damage, and Ragavan and Malcolm trigger to make 3 treasures and exile Silverfur Master off the top of John's library. In her second main phase, Cami casts her other commander, Vial Smasher the Fierce. She then passes the turn. John untaps and draws. He plays a Morphic Pool at land for turn. John casts Entomb. It resolves and he searches up a Wonder into his grave, giving his creatures flying. He goes to combat and swings both of his creatures at Tyler. Tyler asks why he shouldn't put the Bowmaster in the grave, and John shows his hand of 2 ninjas and a submerge he can't cast. He says he's just trying to get some draws to deal with Dan's board. Tyler decides he likes John having nothing and sacrifices a treasure for mana. Mayhem Devil triggers to ping Orcish Bowmaster for 1, killing it. Tyler then takes 1. Yuriko and Ob Nixilis trigger. Ob gets a counter and reveals Red Elemental Blast. Yuriko then reveals Damping Sphere, with each opponent taking 2. In his second main phase, John casts Damping Sphere. He then passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He casts his commander, Tymna the Weaver. Tyler goes to combat, swinging Mayhem Devil at Cammy and Ragavan at John. Cammy blocks with her Orc army, and John takes the damage. Ragavan triggers to make a treasure and exile Demonic Consultation off the top of John's library. In his second main phase, Tymna triggers to lose a life and draw a card. Ob Nixilis triggers to get a counter and exile a card. He plays a Mana Confluence as land for turn. He takes 1 to cast Demonic Consultation from exile. Ob Nixilis triggers to get a counter and exile Prosper, Tomebound. Consultation resolves, and Tyler names Portable Hole. He starts exiling. He exiles, and exiles, going through most of his win conditions before finding Portable Hole, adding it to his hand, with less than 20 cards left in his library. Lamenting his choices, Tyler passes his turn. Dan untaps and draws. He casts Prosper, Tomebound, from exile. He goes to combat and swings Ob Nixilis at John. John takes the damage, and Dan passes the turn. Cammy untaps and draws. She plays an Underground Sea as land for turn. Cammy goes to combat, swinging Malcolm at Dan and Ragavan at John. They take the damage, and Ragavan and Malcolm trigger to make 3 treasures and exile Opposition Agent off the top of John's library. In her second main phase, Cammy casts Opposition Agent. Vial Smasher triggers to ping Tyler for 3. With that, Cammy passes the turn. John untaps and draws. He goes to combat, swinging Yuriko at Dan. He takes the damage, and Yuriko triggers, revealing a Mystical Tutor, with each opponent taking 1. Ob Nixilis triggers to get a counter and exile Jessica's Will. In his second main phase, John casts Sator the Infiltrator. He then taps out to cast Harrier Strix. It enters and triggers to tap down Prosper. John then passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He casts Portable Hole. It enters and triggers, exiling Damping Sphere. Tyler then casts Bolus's Citadel. With no answers in sight, Bolus's Citadel resolves. Tyler pays 1 to cast Dark Ritual off the top of his library. Ob triggers to get a counter and exile a card. He pays 1 to cast Pyroblast, targeting Yuriko. Ob triggers to get a counter and exile a card. Yuriko is then destroyed. Tyler pays 5 to cast Ad Nauseam off the top of his library. He starts revealing a Scalding Tarn and then stops there, to the surprise of the entire table. He then takes 1 to cast Mana Vault. Ob triggers to get a counter and exile a card. Tyler casts his other commander, Dargo the Shipwrecker, sacrificing 4 permanents as an additional cost to cast. Ob Nixilis triggers and Mayhem Devil triggers 4 times. Mayhem kills off Party Thrasher, and then Ob gets a counter and exiles a card. Tyler pays 1 to cast Burnt Offering, sacrificing Dargo as an additional cost. Ob triggers to get a counter and exile a card. Mayhem triggers to ping off one of the spirits. He then pays 1 to cast Orm's Chant, targeting Dan. Ob triggers to get a counter and exile a card. Orm's Chant resolves, locking Dan out of casting spells this turn. Tyler pays 1 to cast Reanimate, targeting Bowmaster in John's grave. Ob triggers to get a counter and exile a card. Reanimate resolves and Orcish Bowmaster enters. Tyler loses 2 life and Bowmaster triggers to ping off Dan's last blocker. Tyler plays Marsh Flats off the top of his library. He pays 4 to cast Beseech the Mirror, bargaining it by sacrificing his Orc army. Mayhem Devil pings Dan for 1. Tyler now notices Opposition Agent on Cammy's board. He pays a life and cracks Marsh Flats. Mayhem pings Opposition Agent for 1. Ob triggers to get a counter and exile a card. He cracks a treasure for black, and Mayhem pings Oppo again, killing it. He then fetches up a Sacred Foundry, into play tapped. Beseech then resolves, and Tyler searches up a card into exile face down and then adds it to his hand. Tyler recasts Dargo. He then casts Relic of Legends. He casts Ruthless Technomancer. In response, he activates Relic of Legends, tapping Dargo for a red. Technomancer then enters and sacrifices Dargo, creating 7 treasures. Mayhem triggers to ping Dan for 1. He pays 1 to cast a Wishclaw Talisman. Tyler goes to combat, swinging Ragavan, Mayhem, and Tymna at Dan. He takes the damage, and Ragavan triggers to make a treasure and exile Tainted Pact off the top of Dan's library. In his second main phase, Tyler pays 1 to draw 1. He sacrifices 4 permanents to recast Dargo. Mayhem triggers 4 times to ping Dan for 4. Damping Sphere re-enters since Tyler sacrificed Portable Hole. Tyler activates Bolus's Citadel's ability to sacrifice pretty much all of his non-Mayhem Devil permanents to deal 10 to each opponent, and Dan dies. Mayhem triggers 10 times to ping Cammy for 8 and John for 2. Tyler then recasts Dargo with 1 of his floating mana. Amazingly, his reduction is greater than the Damping Sphere increase right now. He then passes the turn. Cammy untaps and draws. She takes stock of the Mexican standoff they all seem to find themselves in. Tyler offers to help Cammy kill John if she sacrifices her treasures. Cammy goes to combat. Cammy sacrifices 4 treasures, 4 mana. Mayhem triggers 4 times to wipe John's board. He takes the damage and goes down to 3. Ragavan and Malcolm trigger. Cammy cracks 3 more treasures, and Mayhem triggers 3 times to ping John for 3, killing him. Cammy then passes the turn, seemingly happy with her position. Tyler untaps and draws. He swings Dargo and Mayhem Devil at Cammy. Cammy channels Otawara, Soaring City, to return Dargo to hand. In response, Tyler casts Sacrifice, sacrificing Dargo as an additional cost. Mayhem triggers to ping Ragavan for 1, killing it. Cammy then takes the other 3. In his second main phase, Tyler plays City of Traders as land for turn, and recasts his other commander, Tymna the Weaver. Tyler passes, accepting his fate. Cammy untaps and goes to combat. She swings Malcolm at Tyler. He takes the damage, dies, and Cammy wins the game. So, what did we learn today? Combo decks are cool, but good old-fashioned beatdown is always an option. If you have any tips for the video, leave them below. Subscribe if you feel like it. Until next time, keep making value plays.
Shrinker.
You little bottom feeder.
You make a trade.
Jesus God. That's crazy, but...
This is the entirety of my hand.
I know.
You can say you don't want it to happen, and I can't stop you.
I don't
Look
even
at
know
my
what that
hand.
card does.
They have to have a force. It does nothing. None of these do anything. They're all fucking useless.
Maybe I want it that way. Maybe if I
Yeah, if you're trying to jam, then you should just shoot it, and then I'll probably get 1 trigger and pass.
I'll name Portable Hole. Oh, that would have been good.
What was the other one?
Oh, just die. Bombardment and the other one are in there.
Oh.
Dementia and Bombardment are gone. 20 cards left. Okay, pass.
Well, a man says I have no wins left, and just pinwheels removal all over my board and passes.
And I'm passing.
This is insanity.
You and Dargo beats, baby.
This is
You
truly
Dargo
one of
beats.
the least editable games. I never thought I could see a game worse than.
Dude,
some of
low
the shit
key,
we've
is.
seen.
if I literally did have one of the sides, and I was, I have.
I mean,
a lot
you
of ways.
were close.
It is
to, like,
funny.
Yeah.
Because it's now like a Mexican standoff, in a way.
If I just throw everything at Tyler,
He'll
he
die.
would die.
Definitely.
If
die.
you threw
He
everything
would
at
die.
John, he would die.
That's true.
I have flying block.
It doesn't matter. She's got 8 treasures sitting there, and I still have mayhem.
Oh yeah.
I just kill you.
Yeah. If,
You make a deal for second
yeah. If
place.
you punch me and he kills me, then yeah, he'll just kill you. Yeah.
No, I won't kill her.
What happens when I die and it's your turn next?
I don't know. Do you got a blocker?
You have trample.
You're trample 7-5.
She's swinging at a beat.
She got 9 life.
3-3.
I think that makes sense to me.
This is.
That's hilarious.
I think this
This is
is.
so fucking crazy.
So I swing out of John.
Right? He
One-
literally just
one
untaps
shoot
and
the
kills you.
I just don't think he can kill me.
He has 10 trample.
You have a blocker.
I
right?
have
So-
removal.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
so-
Okay, okay.
You got it, Cammy, with combat damage.
Yay.
John, this game is uneditable.
I literally can't imagine a world in which it makes sense to
He always says that about my wins. It's
That's
crazy.
people playing to their outs. What are you talking?
John,
Just, yeah.